Yes, I love you. I'm going live. I thought it was on. I was just talking. Hey, welcome everyone to the Power of You with Yeyefini. Today we are having a wonderful time. We are going to speak about when we think that the rituals and the processes that we've done and we're doing that God has forgotten. Yes. So, welcome again. These are my friends and Instagram and on Facebook and YouTube. Someone here, so let me know that we are on. Yes. So, today we want to talk about the power of you. Everything has its own magical time. For those of you who've seen that my background was with all of my plants, everything has its own magical time. This is spring is on its way, and so we have our magical time, and I was able to put my plants, my children outside. Finally, put them outside because the weather is changing. Life is, if we look at nature, we can understand how we are. We always have a different time season for all of the things that we're doing. Everything has its own magical time, is this segment today. Everything has its own magical time. When you pray or do ebo rituals, baths, food offerings, for something to stop, go away, or have a magical, or that has a negative effect on you. And sometimes we think that it's never going to stop. So when we pray or do rituals, take a bath, make food offerings for something in your life to stop, go away, that is having a negative effect on you, I'm here to remind you that you should not give up, have fear or doubt that the ritual will take effect. Sometimes we do a ritual and we want it now. We want it yesterday. We want it because we're aware that there's a ritual that we can do or a service that we can do with someone that can help us. We want to believe that it has to be done right now. Don't give up. Rituals, services means that you have to do it and let it go. When you do the rituals, when you do perform rituals or prayers, you cut off the source from where it came, and it will then it will die without you saying, without you seeing it. So when you're praying for something to go away, to stop, to end, it will die. But it has to go to the source of where it is, not because you're aware that you want it to go and it's become uncomfortable for you. But this is the time for you to know that it is time for you to just chill, because it has to go to the source of where that was. And it will die without you even seeing it, without you seeing the Orisha's promise to you. It's very important for us to know, because sometimes, because this is a new way of life for many of us in practicing traditional African traditional faith, and we don't come from a community that lives it, that brought it, that we're not 5 generations of priests here. Because of the enslavement period, we were the ones who came here. And so for those who already are still living in the process, they are going through a change as well. So don't feel that because people are in Africa and where the source of this traditional faith is that they are not evolving themselves. Some of them are going backwards. Some of them have to come from Christianity, have to be made that their religion was demonized, and then go into another faith, Christianity or Islam, and then come out and then studying this as well. So we are all in the process of evolving, but know that rituals for us, sometimes we don't have that community. For those who are in Africa and they had a community that 7 generations or 5 generations, and even now that if they went to school or Catholicism or Islam and they went to school and they were told to honor another way of living or thinking or worshiping, They are living now trying to make sure that the traditions that they had in the past have no relevance to them. So they have an old lady, an old man in their compound that reminds them. Even when you're going off to school, we're going to wash you, we're going to do a reading, we're going to do consultations and rituals for you, even if you don't believe it. But then things happen and you want to say, oh, I was this great person in school. No, your rituals were done. Your mama and your daddy and your great grandma, you are the results of those prayers. So remember that when you are doing your family work and when you're doing your traditional work for community, that's the thing that holds us. So if you're in part of a community or society or organization or something that practices anything that ties you back to community, that's your strength. And so when you do the rituals and the prayers, it cuts off from the source of the things. And you may not see what God is doing for you. You don't see the promise that God made for you. So in the rituals or the service or the dream that you had, you overcame the challenges, do the rituals and wait. The source of fear, trauma, doubt is cut off to give time for the entire thing to die. So when you have something that comes up to you that is an attack on you, and a negative influence, and it's causing you to lose the things in your life, and people in your life are leaving you away or walking away, or you're fighting or you're having disputes and that, and you call it evil or whatever it is that you call it, it has to you have to give it time to cut off the entire thing. It has to go to the minds of the people to change their minds. It has to go to your mind to change mind. You have to change the energy of your home so it can do. You have to change the energy of the community that you live in, and then the community that feeds you. All of that has to come in. There's jealousy, there's envy. These are things of the world that we came on earth to see, to use, and for them to be a blessing to us in a way that making us have to push forward. So you may not see the manifestation of the ritual or the ebor, or you might not even have a clue that the ritual is working for you. Don't give up. Don't give up. I am here to let you know that. Give it time and it will manifest. I'm going to take this time to share a story with you. My godfather, may he rest in glory, Pedro Loinas Ogumbi, he was my palero. He was the one who gave me the things to work with the system that we use in my temple, which is we use several different systems. We use Isheshe, Lukumi Centric, and Palo. And so my godfather was initiated into Palo when he was 5 years old. And in his process of initiation, Egun came and said to him, one day you will leave Cuba. Well, mind you, this is the midst of the communists really being in a really stronghold in Cuba. So he's like, how am I going to ever leave this place? We can't leave this, because the whole force of communism was to keep every other country, especially the US, away as an enemy. And so he was a young child, and he's like, I don't know, as he grew older, and they reminded him that at 5 years old, this was told. And when he's a teenager and when he's like a young adult, they're telling him that one day you're going to leave this country and visit somewhere else. And he's like, I never want to go to America. But it said you will leave this country at some point. So at some point when things started opening up in Cuba, and he felt like, wow, I sure wish I could go somewhere and see another land. I've only had this place. He's a priest of Ogun. And Ogun wants to take his machete and go to other ways of understanding civilization. And he was such an amazing medium, as well as a palero, as well as a priest. His sight was phenomenal. If you read my book, this is the person, as I spoke about him, that showed me exactly how to set it up that my Obatala would take flight, would leave. Because in the process of me evolving, negative forces were working against me and worked on my Orisha Obatala. And so that vessel was no longer effective for me. How would I be able to say, well, this is not working anymore, let me get another one? But in his wisdom, that's what he gave me. He said, this is the way, and read the book, The Living Shrine, and go forward to you. I'm coming in June. We're doing the first of a series of book signings and workshop, because the workshop, the workbook is finally done. Yay! There's a book, workbook that goes with the Living Shrine. I'll be doing that in Dallas, Texas, the end of May and beginning of June as well, the whole weekend. So anyway, let me get back to my story. And so, Baba or Pedro Loinas may buy to room, and it looks like it's not going to happen. And somehow down the road, at 70 plus years, no, it was 80 years old. He was 78 years old when magic happened. And that's why the name of this segment is Everything Has Its Own Magical Time. He had given up because he's like, I'm 70, I have children, I got grandchildren, maybe I will never. What? He came to meet a young lady by the name of Yeyefini, and I went to Cuba and to take some of my godchildren to be initiated in that. And so in that process, he let me know that his Ita said, or his reading said, and his everyone said that he will leave that country. Baby, by coincidence, by magic, and that's in the next book as to how some of the magical things happen in my life. And I'll go into details of little things that happen that you'll be like, what? That couldn't fit in the book, the first book. And so, by coincidence, by magic, I meet him in such a bizarre way that I went to do one thing and ended up meeting him. And he was my Baba until he passed. And so I made sure by meeting me, and he told me that, I was like, you know me, I'm the person, you do it, I'm going to make it happen, or I'm going to try to make it happen. We were able to take him to Jamaica. He cried when he got his visa because he couldn't believe it. He said, what? Obatala send his daughter to make sure that I got my Ita resolved. Don't give up when you do an Ebola. It took him over 70 something, 80 years. He was 80. It took him over 65 years for his Ita to come to pass. So don't give up. If you get a reading that says something is happening and this is the Ebola, give it to God and have some patience. Sometimes it looks like the Ebola hasn't worked because you are judging the outcome without being able to see with God's eyes. Orisha sees and takes all of the perspectives of it, all of the possibilities. Who was to say that it would be da 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 da? And that's why in my explanation in my CD of who Obatala is, sit on a mountaintop and see what I see. Everything is coming. There's only peace and there's only love. And if you're peaceful and you know that it's coming, it's done. And so the magic of saying what is fighting you and the things that you want to get away from is it got to cut from the root, and it has to see all of the perspective, negative, rotten sources of things that are preying on you. Do the ritual and it will take care of all aspects of it. The magical benefit of ritual is prayer and supplication, is to the power of believing, acting, speaking as if the outcome has already happened. You got to say, I know it's going to happen. And you relax it. While you are thinking, and when you're thanking the Ebo, thank you, Ebo. Thank you so much for giving me that trip. Thank you for letting me see another country. Thank you for letting me see. Thank you for relieving me. Thank you for the negative energy. Thank you for the situation. Name it what it is that's been fighting me. Thank you for you giving me the outcome of it. Thank you for the outcome where I lived, and now I can say and talk about the greatness of Orisha, or the greatness of God, or the greatness of my ancestors. That's the way that the magic happens. So while you are thanking the Ebo and saying words of affirmation and gratitude, then you will let God remove the fear, the worry, and anxiety, and allow spirit to do its work. So once you start thanking it, the magic happens. When you open the door of hope, success, and negativity, magical things happen. When you open the door of hope, success magically happens. Right? Success happens when you open that door and say, wow, okay, thank you. Madupwe, versus, oh, you keep going on and begging and begging. Do that, boy, leave it and watch it and ask for. not ask, but claim that you'll be patient enough to wait for your ritual. Saying that you are grateful, saying that you're wonderful, that you were able to get the priest to do it that could have been someplace else. Pray that you were able to get the things that it asked for, 2 coconuts in the middle of the winter in Alaska or wherever it is, that you were able, thank it. Thank you, coconut. Thank you for all that we've done. During our Oshun festival this year, which is March the 30th, because it would have been the 23rd, but we are not because of my mother's passing and her funeral. We've changed it to March the 30th. And so for those of you who are members of the Ore IIASK membership, you will be praising Oshun Ibukole. Oshun Ibukole, she is the carrier of all of the decaying, rotten, leftover things of our lives, the death things of our lives. That particular road, there are 38 roads of Oshun. Manifestations of love, prosperity, abundance, rebirthing, creativity, art. So this month, as we honor Oshun, because for those of you who are members of the Ore, you already got your class on why is it that we're doing Oshun Ibukole right now. Last year we had our festival. It was phenomenal. This year we're having our festival virtually, as well as present, but it's not to the degree that we had last year. This year we are focusing on praising Oshun Ibukole for allowing all of the ebos, the rituals that we do, and they say, take it to the side of a river. Take this chicken that you've done, or this rotten fruit that you think is going to rot. Or sometimes you have to leave a fish on your shrine for 7 days and it's smelling kind of happy, and take that somewhere and take it to the river, take it on a mountain, take it on a hill, take it to the garbage, take it to the side of the road. There's always a location. And for those of you who know, I'm not compounds as well, we will take, you'll know how to throw the 4 pieces of coconut to ask, where should the ebo go? Where should I take it? After you've put it on the shrine or on the altar that you're for to manifest the enemies to move away from you. In gratitude, it says, take this as the offering. Well, where is that going to go? Who's going to take that? That is when Oshun Ibukole comes, and her job is to answer to the fact that you have done the ritual. Her job then becomes taking it to Olodumare, because she is the one that could go as far and high without being burnt to Olodumare. So that aspect of Oshun, that's why I wore her thing today. She has black in her colors because she deals with the unknown, life after life. She's dealing with the ritual that you took and you left on the side of the road or in the woods that is rotten and decomposing, and you see the Ibukole, the Ikole. Her manifestation in the visible form is the buzzard, the turkey buzzard that comes, and they eat that. Can you imagine if nothing was being eaten? What the world would smell like with all of the dead carcasses and garbage and all of that. So Ibukole has a very important job. To me, is one of the most important jobs. It's because it's okay to have sweet and love and all of that, but what happens when that stops? Do you die with it? No, Ibukole tells you, no, this is your time to rise and give praise. So we are giving praise to Ibukole for all of the things that she's giving to us. She lives on the side of the river, in a part of the river where you can still see her stones. It's not the deep part of the river, because she walks, the bird, she walks on the edge of the river to get the dead fish and to transform them into healing for us and to remove disease from us. If we had all of these animals and things that are discarded and dirty and not dirty, but decomposing, what would happen to the world? We would have so many diseases. And some of her things, one of the things that work for her is the earthworm. I mean, the worm that eats, ¿cómo se dice? The big worms the big yellow worms, I forgot the name of it. But anyway, the worms that eat the discarded things, that when you see them, they buzz on dead things and they turn into maggots. Thank you. Woo. Thank you. So the maggots, and they work with her. They work with her. Those are her little workers. And so When you are in a place in your life that you feel that the ebo is not going to work, it will work, because all of the things that you have prayed for are going to manifest once you accept and you recognize that the magic is already happening. It is already happening for you. So living from that place of saying thanksgiving, living from a place of being thankful, always open the roads for more gifts, right? So giving your ebo to the earth, giving your ebo, your rituals, your prayers, your frustrations, your anguish, giving it to the shrine and leaving it there. Allow it to do its work. Allow God to do its magical work, and everything has its own time. Don't give up on yourself. Do not give up on yourself. Do not give up on life, because life is a series of just different ways of death and life. Death and life. So this is a time for us to give thanks in this new spring that just started. This full moon was a period. This full moon on the 17th was the full moon that deals with karma. So in your life right now, there are things that are coming back to you for you to say, wow, I thought I was done with that. No, because sometimes you have to come back to it to see it and to end that karma. Because if something comes to you in your life and you have not finished it and you have not discarded it and you have not left it for a bukole, but you took little pieces of it, it has to come back to finish. That's what this karma was about. I mean, this eclipse was about, is allowing yourself to know that karma is a debt owed to your own evolution. And so Oshun, during the spring season, is coming back to pay us a visit to let us know that there are little things that you still have to clear up, so that when the next when the full moon comes and there's another eclipse, you can end up saying, yes, I have relieved all of my karmic debt. So this is a time for you to do deep dive into your asking yourself, what would my ancestors do? Asking yourself, how can I be a higher expression of the divine? How can I look at my life as a place of gratitude? How can I look at my life as a place of gratitude and not complaining, because you're born perfect, and everything that we meet on earth is about empowering you and taking you to the next level. That's what we're doing here. That's what we're doing in the webinar tonight, that has to do with, what are you doing? What can your ancestors do? What have they done? And this is a time that if we looking at and being bombarded and this and distracted by some of the nonsense that's going on, this is a time for us to come together. All faiths to come together. This is a time to come together, and that's what the webinar tonight is about. Whatever faith you are, the base of everything is love. The base of everything is about coming together as people who are in need, people who are frustrated, people that have fear, doubt. This is a time for us to come together and find the magic in ritual. So come together with us on the webinar tonight. You'll learn some magical things. You'll be able to really speak to us, because the last one was so well that everybody asked for another one. So we're having over 30 people have already registered. So come tonight at 7:00 and get right in there. Get right in there and listen to how is it that we're going to move forward with people who understand the power of ritual, of ebo, of service, of baths. And we're going to overcome this, because the next thing that we will be doing is doing a consultation or reading on how we, as people who are practicing ancestral-based practices, whether you're Christian or other faiths, everything and everyone comes from ancestral celebration, ancestral basis. We all come from somewhere that we call our names, the names of our ancestors, and they come to help. That's the next move, is how can we set an energy, an intention, by doing rituals, so that the fear and the anger and the enemy and the things that we have coming at us, we make the ritual, we do the readings, and we do the ritual globally If we can come together as a global community with a date and a time that we're doing whichever way that you're able to do, whatever way, I mean, whatever way you're able to do it. If you're a Christian in your church, you're going to do this. If you're in a mosque, you're going to do it this way. If you go traditional, African tradition, if you're Buddhist, whatever it is that you can get for us to unite and work together so that the fear and the things that appear that are going to end us and that we are not seeing the face of God, that we can come together and make that energy, that vibration, so people's consciousness will shift. And this summer, when our children are in the streets, we want them to be enjoying themselves. Like I saw someone doing a whole ritual of nothing but fanning and keeping cool with Oshun. That's what it is. That's what it is. Writing music that has to do with we are overcoming, we are strong. That's how we're going to do this. So come tonight. Get the energy, the passion, how you in your own little home, in your community, in your sororities, fraternities, you're able then to do whatever it is that makes sense to you to connect to your ancestors. Baby, that's where we're going to be. So don't give up on yourself. Do not give up on the rituals. Do not give up on the prayers. Don't give up on the prayers of your grandmother and your great-grandmother that prayed for you to be successful. Do not think that they are not being realized. Just trust and look to God for that. So Oshuni Bukole this is her month. And as we end on the 30th, we're going to go into the phase of Ogun, where we will give you the class on Ogun and Ore IIASK the third Thursday. We will do the class on Ogun, which is this Thursday. And then the fourth Sunday of April, we will do the festival to Ogun, to have the courage after you've seen the power of the Creator, the power of you, the power within you. You will be able to take that energy now and put it to Ogun, which is not. So what you going to do with all this power? What you going to do with it? So let's manifest that. Look in the reading of the year that says through Oshun, through water, through love, through forgiveness, through understanding is the way that we are going to dispel the myth that we are out here alone and that fear has more power than faith. So thank you today for this ceremony, and I mean for this part of us that we're honoring Ibukole. Allow those things to die and allow Ibukole to take it to Olodumare and says, oh yeah, this Ebo was done. And the intentions of this Ebo is to bring peace on earth. Is to bring peace in my family. Is to remove the person that's challenging me, that's coming after me, that's being wicked, that's beating on me, that's beating on my children, that's beating on my name, that's beating on all of the things that make me feel that I'm not worthy. Come, leave that to Oshuni Bukole. Put yourself a little altar for Oshuni Bukole. Get you some buzzard feathers or any feathers, because she is the great mother of the wing spread. And meditate and leave those things there, allowing it. So I just want y'all at this moment to give yourself 3 cleansing breaths. So I know it's time for you to get back to work or get back to whatever it is that you do on Wednesdays at 12 o'clock. But remember also, before I say this, before we do the meditation, thank you. Many of you have been asking and grateful. I'm so grateful for you sending out condolences to my family for my mother's passing of 105 and gone to the ancestors. Many of you have asked, can you send me things and that? Thank you so much. People want to send flowers and food and that. Thank you very much. What you could do for us is to send to givebutter.com. Givebutter.com/. Faith and culture is to come to my webinar tonight. Givebutter.com/faith and culture. Right? 2. Faith and culture 2. Register today for it. Givebutter.com/faith and culture 2. Somebody write that in there for me, please. And then to come, for those of you who have been sending me notifications and asking me, is there a way to honor my mother, Ruby? I came up with this wonderful, wonderful way. For those of you who are interested in it that have been sending me, I sent out some answers to you. is I am creating a garden. My mother loved flowers, fruits, vegetables. I'm creating a garden with her name, Ruby's Garden. So if you're interested, you can go to my website, and under donations or contributions, you can put that in there, donations and contributions, that you will be able to give rather than sending me flowers or sending me food or sending me money. Send it to my mother's loving energy, and that's the way that we can always connect to her, because y'all know she was a piece of work. She was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And if you read my book, you'll understand the beauty that we had and the connection that we had and the gifts that she gave me in just being who I am. And I think I want to put on that, I'm going to find a way that at the garden, I can have a button that you can press and you can play some salsa music, because that was her thing. Remember, her first husband was a salsa musician, my father, Ibaitoro, Clyde Brown Roach. And so I wish I could do that and just put outside, by the garden. You touch the button and you get da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. You can start dancing to Ruby, because that's what she would want. So it's going to be Ruby. Someone already sent me an idea a contribution that they want to see the name, that when you come on the compound, the first thing you see is Ruby's Garden. So already in my mind, as the artist that I am, I'm imagining it to be oval and saying Ruby's Garden. And I want her picture in the middle of it, in a way that even in nature, you have ways of preserving these things, or whatever, metal or whatever, and put that there. So as you come in the compound, you can see Ruby's Garden with a chair, and you can sit down and drink some coffee, some tea or whatever. Because my mother is alive and she is well, because I've seen her day before yesterday. We're walking down, because we were doing a lot of spiritual work yesterday. We gave some locals and I got you and stuff. And we're walking down, and I said to someone, put a candle to the ancestors, because we're getting ready to do Ita. I hear this noise on me, and I'm walking with things in my hands. I pull out my phone. My mother is dancing. That dance that y'all saw on the thing of her dancing for her birthday, and said, don't tell the pastor. That one came up. This girl is still here with us. And so that was some kind of gift or affirmation. I said, like the ancestors, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, starts dancing. So I want y'all to know that. Thank you so much for the well wishes and the condolences and that. And if you want to, don't send anything to me. Send it to Ruby's Garden. Just look on it. Give it to it's going to be on the building fund, where we've been doing all of these webinars, which are fundraisers. So we put it in there, and I will keep you abreast as to how the garden is coming. And if anybody can tell me how I can put outside, how to put music so we can play it, I will be there. So thank you. So I just want y'all to take a minute to just close your eyes and expect nothing but a loving light. Visualize yourself sitting at the river, where you can feel and hear the energy of the water just rustling on the stones. And as you sit here and take these 3 breaths, I want you to visualize above your head the bright sunshine just coming down, and feeling the new year that's coming in this March, and the spring equinox. And we just want to just breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in again, breathe in and breathing out. And one last breath, just breathing in and breathing out. We are calling out Ibukole, Ikole, Yamio, Iyami, Iyaibu, Iyalode, Iyaki Kakiri Laye. Kole baleo, baleo, baleo ishe. Kole baleo, baleo, yami oshu. Kole baleo, baleo, baleo ishe. Kole baleo, baleo, ibu kole. Kole baleo, baleo ishe. Kole baleo, baleo ishe. Kole baleo, yalode. Ole bale o bale bale o bale o ishe. Ole bale o. Ole bale o. Ole bale o bale o bale o ishe. Ole bale 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 o iya mi oshun. Ole bale o bale o ishe. Ole bale o iya mi oshun. Ole bale o bale o bale o. Kole bale o ishe. Kole bale o ibu kole bale o iyami oshun ibu kole bale o bale o ishe. Kole bale o ishe. Kole bale o bale o ishe. Kole bale go yami oshu. Kole bale o ishe. Kole bale o bale o yami oshu. Kole bale o ishe. Kole bale o 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 Kole bale o. Mother of sweetness, mother of love, mother of grandeur, spread your wings and take our loving offerings and our fear and our anger and the things that are holding us back. Take them to Olodumare and turn them into rain that will fall into the rivers and the rivers that will go into the oceans and bring us the cooling energy of Yemunja and bringing us prosperity and abundance. Ibukole, my mother, you have spread your wings today for me and for everyone that's listening and that will re-listen and learn the power of Oshun Ibukole. Hasheo, go in peace and know that there's only love and there's only faith. Hasheo. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day.